Yo, guys, Justin James with the 10-7 here, and we had a fight happen. We're talking about Jamahal Hill versus Khalil Rountree, and Khalil came through and won the decision against Jamahal Hill. Guys, I mean, the fight kind of went how I thought it was going to go. Rountree, I mean, I just feel he's getting better every single time he fights. Jamahal talked earlier in the fight, or earlier in the week leading up to the fight, about how he was going to change the game plan around. I thought he might use his wrestling. I thought he might use his grappling, to keep the opposition off or on his heels, I should say. But to no avail. Some of the judges had it 49-46. Some had it 50-45. Jamahal almost looks shocked. When they called it off, I saw his face. He gave a shocked look when one of the judges called it 50-45. But Rountree, man, we talked about it on the show on Friday before the fight. It's just we're talking about the motivation. Jamahal Hill has already been there. Jamahal Hill has already been the champion. And Khalil Rountree, I feel he got a small taste of what that was like when he was fighting Alex. So I feel his motivation is a little stronger now. Jamahal can still resurge. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. He lost to Alex Pereira. He lost to Yuri Prochazka. And then, he just lost to Khalil Rountree. I mean, these are all top-level guys. It's not like he's losing to guys that are out of the top 10. These are all top-level fighters. All could be fighting for a championship in the next year. But unfortunately, I saw Khalil winning this fight. I called it before the fight. I'm a big Jamahal Hill fan. I'm a friend of Jamahal Hill. I wanted Jamahal Hill to win, Michigan native. We've fought some of the same guys before. We both fought Daquan Townsend, man, coming from Michigan in those early days. So I have so much respect and so much love for Jamahal Hill. I want him to win. I want him to be successful. But I think that Khalil just wanted it more. And, he really only, I mean, the striking differential, they threw about the same amount of strikes. It was like 180 to 170 strikes. Jamahal landed 70. Khalil landed 100. There weren't any takedown attempts in the round. And, before the fight came out, Jamahal talked about how he was going to mix it up, that this isn't a boxing match. This isn't a kickboxing match. This is an MMA fight. I mean, he didn't get any takedowns. He didn't go for any takedowns. He didn't go for any submissions. So he kind of, went aloof when it came to changing up the game plan or incorporating his wrestling and grappling, talking about it being an MMA fight. But what is next for Jamahal Hill? He's on a 3-fight losing streak after, winning the belt. He's talking about changing his game coming into this fight. His game didn't look that much different than I've seen before. But so what's next? And there are a couple other people that I would like to see Jamahal Hill fight. You have an old school vet like Dominic Reyes. He was on a 4-fight losing streak, and he's been on a resurgence as of late. I think he's won 3 in a row. He's 3-4 in his last 7. But again, he lost 4 and now he's won 3. That would be an incredible matchup. Let's see. Who else do we got on the list here? We got Jan Blachowicz. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. I think that Jamahal Hill needs to ask for the Jan fight. I think that's the only fight that makes sense. Jamahal Hill's lost 3 in a row. Jan's on a 2-fight losing streak. These are 2 older guys. Jamahal Hill's not young either. He's 34 years old. Sometimes at the heavier weights, you guys they last a little bit longer. But he's no spring chicken. I think the Jan fight is incredible. That's 2 former champions going up against each other. I think it'd be a perfect fight to get Jan. If Jan beats Jamahal, it puts him, it still shows that he has it. And if Jamahal beats Jan, then it still shows Jamahal has it. So I think it's a win-win for the company. I think it's a win-win for the fans. These guys are going to go out there on their shield. Jan, what an incredible fighter, very, very Polish power, blah, blah, blah. Like, sparks are going to fly, fists are going to fly. I think it would be an incredible matchup. Guys, tell me, what do you think is next for our former UFC champion, Jamahal Hill? I'd really love to see a resurgence out of him. I'm such a fan of Jamahal Hill. He's such a nice guy, in the ring, out of the ring. I have such a great personal relationship with him. And, when I see these Michigan guys, myself, Cody Stamen, Darren Cruikshank, Jamahal Hill, Daquan Townsend, and, the list goes on because Michigan produces so many high-level guys. When I see these guys falter, it just hurts me so much because, I want Michigan to succeed, man. And what do you think's next for Jamahal Hill?